excellent wisdom, so powerful. He said, no company can exceed the quality and depth of the Christ-like character, big picture vision, expertise, experience, Holy Spirit synergy, and resources of its owners and its key executives. And he asked the question, do you have the gift of access to the founders, the owners, the key executives, the leaders? The answer is overwhelmingly in 7K in this team, yes, we do. And it is truly a gift. There's tens of thousands of members in 7K that do not have the gift of access to Mr. Bob Reed, to Mr. Richard Wayne Hansen, who's on our Zoom with us this morning, to Roger Ball, Zach, and Josh, who we're doing Zooms with that Tarita is created for us. The next one coming up Monday. We're excited about that one. I know that many of you are watching the last one. You're excited about the next one. But this is so important because our owners, our key executives, Bob Reed, our senior business partner, our leaders have created the foundation. And it is a foundation that was originally said by Theodore Roosevelt. A famous quote is that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Now, this has also been recorded by Zig Ziglar and by John C. Maxwell. And John has added some additional insights to this that I think are so powerful for our time, especially in Hawaii right now. A difficult time can be more readily endured if we retain the conviction that our existence holds a purpose, a cause to pursue, a person to love, a goal to achieve. John C. Maxwell. And additional insights also on this. Brains are like hearts. They go where they are appreciated. And this one is also very powerful. Robert McNamara, former business executive and U.S. Secretary of State under John F. Kennedy, President of the United States, 1960 through 63. If you're going to treat issues coldly and people warmly, then doing so in a genuine manner is the key. If you want to be an effective listener and a proficient in providing feedback and candid with your conversations, showing others how much you care and being genuine are prerequisites. Do we have that kind of a culture in 7K? We absolutely do. The founders wrote this message, including Richard with us here today. We believe in you. We created 7K because we genuinely want to improve the lives of people all around the world. We have watched way too many of our friends struggle as the economy fluctuates, employment issues arise, unexpected changes come up in life. Using the power of gold and silver, we believe we can provide a way for people to create financial independence, preserve their wealth, live an exceptional life. We started this company because we believe in you. And ambassadors, I know the leaders on this team that I'm so privileged to know, and so many of our team associates, it is a culture of caring because you truly exemplify that every day. And you show everybody that you talk to, and they realize it. They get the point, they get the heart of this. People do not care how much we know until they know how much we care. So with that, I'd like to say aloha to Mr. Bob Reed again with us, our senior business partner, and our very special guest, 7K co-founder, co-owner, Mr. Richard Wayne Hansen.
Hey, thank you, Brother Gary, for that introduction. And if everyone would just stand by for just one little quick second, because Brother Gary kind of let the cat out of the bag, and our special guest, before we start, I've got a lot of great things coming for you today. I did that beginning training. I do at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and now at 12 noon. And as all you know, I'm going to do only my trainings on Saturday at those times, and we're going to open it up to everyone in your groups. And then I've got other people in my other groups that'll be joining us on the 12 noon. And I know it's way too early in Hawaii at 5 a.m. for you to be on at the 10 a.m. But if some of you are up at that time and that is convenient for you, you're more than welcome there. I will have different subjects in the training, as y'all know. But today, we are blessed to have my sponsor, the actual founder, but he's a co-founder with the established company. But here is the idea man. And something, many of you may not know, but I know you've heard me tell it. But, you know, I met Richard Wayne Hansen back in about July of 1996. He was with the Gold and Silver Company that started in January of 95. So I joined him about 18 months later in that company. And it did not have a residual. But you know, it had, let me tell you, the price of gold at that particular time was about $260 an ounce. And we sold 10 of those 1/10 ounce gold coins for $660, and it gave you a free check-in center. Sound familiar, everyone? Except here, it's much better. So we had the highest, we had the highest price gold in the marketplace. But I put together a little system that said, because I was already in gold and silver, and it's to teach people how to earn gold, get 1099 benefits, and earn silver, accumulate wealth while you have a plan B, and develop an extra stream of income. And that grew to 70,000 people on my left and right in less than 5 years. It set me up at the young age of 52. I never had to work for another person again in my life. I was blessed abundantly because I met Richard. He's the man that he actually had that same idea that started that company back in 95 with that owner. And see, I'm so blessed that Richard gave me a call in 2016 of November while I was rebuilding my 87-year-old mom's house that's with the Lord today now. But we had that great flood. You even hear Wayne Clark talk about the great flood of 2016 in the greater Baton Rouge area. We had over 40,000 people's homes flooded in this one area. And people had need, but they had no time either. So that's the environment that I started 7K with, ladies and gentlemen, at the young age of 70. And I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed that Richard gave me a call. Even though he waited 2 weeks to call me, I still gig him on that one. But he did it on purpose. I know him. He wanted me down at the bottom, so all that volume goes up. But I didn't have that fire in the belly. But you know what? I got that fire in my belly at the Houston event. Richard knows it well. We had the leaders. I ended up, making a six-figure income a year. Retired, doing it part-time, just helping people know about silver and gold, and that great mission statement right there. Because if you listen to a little bit to my story here, that was contained in what I taught. And so all of my team knows that's exactly how I feel. So every time we do a meeting, what do? I read that mission statement. I don't just pop it up. And that's why Gary duplicated that. Because who wouldn't want to be a part of that? Who would not want to be a part of that? You don't need them on your team if they don't want to be a part of that. And with that said, I'm so blessed that here in a few days, November 17th, I'll be 75 years young. And I'll guarantee you right now, I'm the top money earner in the company because I hadn't hicked up and I don't know how long at goal. But that will not be for long because as every one of my people in our group know, I expect all of y'all to far exceed my income because you're the future leaders of this company. You're the ones that get to grow with this huge $1 billion to be company. And so I have a great training with you in reference to that last statement today. So, and it will be recorded. So You'll be able to share it with those who weren't able to wake up early enough this morning. But with that said, I know Richard's time is so valuable, and we're so blessed to have him. I gave him a call and asked him if he would jump on with us, and he just said, when, where, that's who Richard is. Richard has a heart of helping, but we are in a state of momentum. And with that said, I want to introduce my friend, my sponsor, and the co-founder and idea man of 7K Metals, Mr. Richard Wayne Hansen. Take it away, brother.
Bob Reed, let me ask you a question. That Pastor Gary Goslin, is he a blessing? I mean, he's a giver. He's got character, work ethics. I mean, what a powerful man of God. Would you agree with me?
Absolutely. Amen, brother. And it's great to have him on our team and a leader on our team.
Pastor Gary Goslin, I like what you said when you talk about people helping people, direct marketing. And let me ask you a question, Gary. When Bob talks about earning precious metals, gold and silver, versus paying for it, would you agree with me that that's a good thing?
It sure is, Sir Richard, and we're experiencing that on our team big time.
If we all end up with a couple of shoe boxes full of precious metals, gold and silver that we got buried out back under the old apple tree, kind of just save it for a rainy day, and we earn it instead of pay for it, I think you'd agree that's a good thing, isn't it, Pastor Gary?
Yes, that's great wisdom right there, Richard. You certainly led the way in showing us that.
It's amazing what makes precious metals so valuable. Well, several things, but one isn't it interesting that man cannot make it? Now think about that for a minute. They're talking about $2, $3, $4 trillion in stimulus money. Well, in simple terms, I know it's more complicated than this, but in simple terms, they cut down a bunch of trees, turned it into a gazillion $100 bills, and they grow more trees. The interesting thing about precious metals is you can't grow it. The only way you're going to get it is have to dig for it. You got to dig deeper and deeper, and it's harder and harder to find. Are you with me on that, Pastor Gary?
Yes, I sure am, Sir Richard.
And, when you read in the second chapter, Genesis, I believe, I'm a novice when it comes to the Bible, but it says that in the Garden of Eden, there was gold. That's a pretty heavy statement. In the Garden of Eden, there's gold. But it took it a step further and it said, and the gold is good. Wow. Could you imagine if I was over your house and in the backyard, you had a fountain? And I said, Pastor Gary, you got a beautiful backyard. And in your backyard is a water fountain. You would kind of get the understanding that I like that water fountain, correct? But if I took it a step further and I said, and that water fountain is really, really good, you would know that I know that I'm making clear that there's something. So here's Almighty God. I can see him up there just kind of chuckling. This whole system's going to eventually come back to his money, isn't it, Pastor Gary?
Yep. He's the foundation of it all, Sir Richard.
And I'll never forget, I kept thinking to myself, why? Why are the streets of heaven paved out of gold? And I thought about that for the longest time. Why? Well, one day it hit me like a ton of bricks. It was like, Richard, are you stupid or something? The reason the streets of heaven are paved out of gold is because the gold maker lives there. now think about that, right? Man cannot call up the local concrete plant and say, we're going to pave the church parking lot in gold. Can you deliver us a batch of gold? They can't do it, right? But God Almighty, if he wanted to dispatch those angels to make gold, he could do it. Is that pretty cool? Anyway, listen, I'm so excited about 7K medals. We're 5 years young. We're just getting started. We're seriously breaking all records. And I'm so, so proud of that organization you and your incredible team put together over there in Paradise, over there in Hawaii. And to go back to the core values. The core values is showing the non-professional how to make that above average income, that large $500 cycle check, get paid weekly instead of monthly, tapping into the 1% of 100 other people's efforts instead of 100% of your own efforts. Or in other words, owning your own business, which is freedom, go where you want, when you want, whenever you want. And I think you understand what I'm talking about. It seems like they keep talking about more and more mandates over there in Hawaii. Are you kind of fed up with all of these mandates, Pastor Gary?
Yes, there's a lot of intensity going on in this community, a lot of prayer, Richard, and a lot of good action. And we are definitely, we're not buying this. And we're saying, let's do things God's way. And we're believing that he's going to help us to turn this situation around. He's got a better plan.
You know, so back in 1999, I want to have everybody think about this. You know, Bob knows me as the gold bug. I was collecting mint fresh American Eagle 1/10-ounce gold coins. And in 1999, at the Sam's Club in Dallas, Texas on Northwest Highway, Pastor Gary, you familiar with Sam's Club and Costco's?
Yes, sir. I've had memberships since they opened in Hawaii. Renew them every year.
So there I am at the Sam's Club, and I can't find the American Eagle gold coins. So I approached customer service and I said, can you help me? I'm looking for the US American Eagle gold and silver coins. I want to buy some. Well, it proceeded to tell me they didn't have any, and it was confusing for me because they had batteries and they had tires and they had jewelry and they had clothing and they had food. Why not precious metals, right? Well, I thought to myself, you know, what exactly is Sam's Club? What is this? Well, back in 1999, I called it a new business model. So I had to give this new business model a name. So standing there in front of the customer service desk, getting turned down, told that they don't have any precious metals. And I was thinking that my membership was a product of value, but they didn't have any gold and silver. So I looked around and I noticed that the place was jam-packed, filled with people spending money. It was hard for me to even find a parking spot. So I said, well, duh, I'm going to give this a name and I'm going to call it the membership model. And in simple terms, memberships have privileges. What do I get for my Costco's and Sam's membership? It's like, duh, you get a standard membership or a premium membership. Both allow me to buy unlimited amounts of stuff at Sam's or Costco's, as long as they're open good for 1 year. Is that right, Pastor?
Yep, that's exactly right, Richard.
So being full-time in this industry, network marketing, eat, drink, and sleep, morning, noon, and night, $1 million earner in 3 different companies. That was Herbalife, that was NSA, and that was Family of Eagles. I looked at the business model that was in the network marketing world, and I said, it's all upside down backwards. They're trying to sell an overpriced product that someone can get somewhere else for less money. So I said, why not become the Sam's Club of gold and silver?
Hey, Richard Wayne Hansen.
Yeah.
That is what you say. Great. Tune in to this great event. We're going to have Monday night, Living the Legacy, where everybody's going to hear about the real story and of Richard Wayne Hansen and his story with 7K in living the legacy that Tarita is going to be putting on. And Richard, I did interrupt on purpose there.
No. And I
know you do. I know you do. But I want them to understand they got to get their guest, their prospects, their other members on living the legacy, because it's going to help them all get a bigger view. But let me, before you head out to that appointment, we're at a big state in the country and the world, but also in 7K. There's this thing that's happening, this tsunami, this huge tsunami that's developing right now. And you have a great way of describing that with telephone lines, and it really is happening, because I think y'all going to even have to add a lot more staff the way we're growing up in 7K, isn't it? And so how is that going? What's happening with the phone lines at 7K?
The phones are lit up like Christmas trees. The wires are smoking. They're ringing off the hook. This thing is big. It's huge. It's gigantic. I'm going to take it an extra step. It's astronomical. Bob, documentation beats conversation. You and your team are number one, the best. You're breaking all records. So would you do me a good, big favor and train them today? I want them to get paper and pencil. I want you to get serious, everyone. Gary Goslin, if Bob is making $7,000 every week, would you agree with me that that's the same thing as 28,000 every 28 days? That would be 1,000 a day. And he's working out of his home, no boss, no employees, living the dream, going where he wants, when he wants, with whoever he wants. That's some documentation that always beats conversation. So I want you all to take serious notes today. Listen carefully to what Bob is saying. But on the other hand, promise me, everybody, live life to the fullest. Go to the marketplace, being a product of the product. Never leave home without taking those low mintage, rare, exclusive, numismatic, NGC, proof state 70 coins with you and show them off everywhere you go. Make sure the superstar is always the 7K metals, product of value, which is our membership. It's our precious metals, gold and silver. Our product's not as good as gold, Bob Reed. It is gold. And to get it at member direct pricing makes a lot more sense than calling a stranger on a 1-800 number, when you can basically, in simple terms, buy it from yourself, buy it from your gold and silver coin store in cyberspace called 7kmetals.com/powerhouse Tarita from Hawaii. Get it at member direct pricing, but then to have the opportunity to just get up a little earlier, put a little bounce in your step, gleam in your eye. Don't be afraid to burn the midnight oil, put some perspiration on your forehead, roll up your sleeves, go out there in the marketplace with your upline's help, talking to people at opportune moments about this precious metals, gold and silver. And let's hit the ball out of the park. Let's have fun. But in the process, Pastor Gary, I'm going to end it with this. Everything you said in the opening, you basically said it goes way, way, way beyond the paycheck. It's seeing lives changed. It's being blessings to others. It's watching those struggling to pay their light bill to have extra money at the end of the month. And so it goes beyond that paycheck. It's people helping people, direct marketing, right, Pastor Gary?
That's exactly what it is, Sir Richard.
Listen, I'm going to turn it over to you two young firecrackers and the rest of your team, Tarita and Tule and Stephanie. And man, what an incredible group. And Bob, I understand a whole bunch of them are coming to the main line on December 4th. Is that right, Bob Reed?
That's exactly right. And it's growing every day. Who's going to be there? It's amazing what this Hawaii group does. They go over, above, and beyond. And Richard, just think, it was February 26th. of this year. They aren't even 8 months into this business yet. They haven't even seen a year they haven't seen 5 years like you and I. I mean, wait, that what is coming up for them in the tsunami, you and I have been there before. We've experienced it multiple times, but they are about to experience the largest tsunami in the history of direct marketing, the largest tsunami in the history of direct marketing. And they're the seeds of it. They're the seeds of it. Hey, Richard, Wayne Hansen, we really appreciate your time. I've got some great things that's going to piggyback to this. And Richard, you're right about that paycheck. But also remember, my wife is there too. So our family income, oh man, you just can't imagine what's going on. So thank you again for your time, brother. I really appreciate you more than you know. And we look forward to seeing you Monday night right here in
Be
Living a
blessed.
Legacy.
Be blessed. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, get your pencil and paper out, but I am record this. You've got the 5-year anniversary coming up. Evelyn knows this, and she's with us. She was with me back in wasn't in 96 when that tsunami happened to us in gold and silver, and it gave me a lifetime of freedom at the young age of 52 to live a life with no boss, no employees, no financial stress, if I was a good steward of what God gave me. And here we are. Most times an opportunity comes once in a person's lifetime, and sometimes they never even get an opportunity. And so you talking about the heaps of blessings that's been poured on us this is 2. And at 75, I just never dreamed of making that kind of income again. I mean, I remember the first month back in the 90s where I made $78,000, but we got paid weekly, so I had to wake up my check. That first time that I got paid that. But then later, when I was averaging over 38,000 a week, I made $1 million a year for 4 years. And when I'm telling you that y'all have a greater opportunity than I did back there, I mean every word of it, and I'm going to prove it today. All of you know I have an MBA from LSU, and I graduated cum laude, #1 in the class. And then I went out and had an extremely successful corporate career with 2 Fortune 50 companies, climbing the top of that real pyramid. That's a pyramid. That's the real pyramid. Here, each and every one of you and your new person that joins you are at the top of their business. They're not climbing any ladder, and everybody above them, like me, I want the very newest prospect to exceed what I do. And we're willing to help them. Now, just think about that for a second. Just think about that for a second. That never happens in that pyramid bill called the corporate world, called a job, just over broke, working 40 hours a week, paycheck to paycheck for 40 years. And then you can't retire on what you worked on because the government diluted it by printing up paper. And now we know that's a fact. So I was trying to do this in our earlier training, wasn't successful, but I did gave some information that you're going to have to hear about our times and some real facts. But right now, I want to put on my little electronic glove here. So there's nothing wrong with my hand when you see a black glove on my hand. It's just that I can get to a board. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to give every one of you a marketing MBA program in 15 minutes. How about that? Y'all like that? Have an MBA program in 15 minutes? Y'all are going to be, and I'm truthful. I'm very serious about this, y'all. I'm going to share my screen. And, you know, I'm going to tell you how to use some of these things too that I'm talking about in sharing your business, answering objections to your business and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to leave that up at the screen right now because I really like what that is. And so let's not get too big of a dot. And so okay, there we go. And so what I'm going to do is draw what many of you are familiar with, and trust me, I'm not going to make this difficult. I'm going to draw a graph. Okay. Now on this graph over here, this is going to be dollars. And yeah, y'all know I'm getting old. I shake a little at the hand when I write. And this is going to be time down here. And we're going to make time in years on this graph. And so like this will be year 1, year 2, year 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, you know, out here is 50. Okay. Now, this is a kind of a smooth average of all company, even an entrepreneur, even anybody's company or any company, but we're going to make this the direct selling industry, MLM, network marketing, and now what we're bringing into the marketplace, member direct marketing, because that's the kind of company we are. We're not an MLM. We're not a network marketing. Every company, even IBM, even GE, even General Motors is a networking company. Everybody's got a network to do business. And so this is a life cycle of a company. It kind of goes like this. Ah, what is that? That's death and decline. Even the greatest of companies do this, okay? And so there's what we call 4 cycles in a company's life cycle. And it's the foundation or building period, structure period. That's when you're setting the foundation of your business. Then there is what we call the momentum growth period, okay? And then there is what we call stable growth period. And this is what we call death and decline, the DDD period. Okay, so what happens in these periods? Growth is very, very, very slow. And in fact, what I'm going to do is give you some statistics and show you how to use your new Vault report that just came out. In direct selling industry, literally thousands of companies, well, hundreds of companies start every year. Literally, there are thousands of startup of network marketing companies because they can start in the back door or back room of their house or in their garage. I mean, even Microsoft started in a garage. So did Apple. Or a dorm room. Sound familiar, companies? And look at them today. Well, look where Walmart started. No history, no business. This is true in every business. But in the direct selling industry, we're concerned and worried more concerned about is direct selling, network marketing, multi-level marketing. And we're kind of a hybrid of that. Okay. The vast majority of new network marketing companies, direct selling companies, fail in their first year of existence. More than 50% in that first year. They never even get to a profitability state. That's why they fold. And most don't start, you know, with a full staff and a recognizable real business front offices like 7K did. So know the history of your company. Is Roger Ball wouldn't be with a company that wasn't going to start right. Had the right legal, the top legal experts in the industry with 7K's attorney. They're still their attorneys because of his relationships and all his other businesses. They started with 2 floors and a business building. They had a president. Well, it ended up being the 3 co-founders, the 4 co-founders, really the 3. And Josh ended up starting that, and Zach kind of the training, and Richard go build a business. Okay. But the point is, they had CPAs, they had accountants, they had customer service. Kerry was in customer service day one. They had an established place. They had contracts for supply. Not just, hey, can you do it? They had contracts. So they had all the right mixtures to be successful, and that cost a lot of money. So kudos for Roger and Richard kind of hooking it up. And I'm not going to steal that thunder. I'm going to let that come out when you hear the real story of 7K. Okay. Okay. Most companies fail, 50% of them in direct selling in their first year. Guess what? In the first 5 years, more than 99% of new startup network marketing companies, 99 point plus, fail. Do not make it 5 years. Almost 90% fail in 2 years, and 98% fail within the first 3 years. Those statistics you can get at Direct Selling Association, by the way. So here we are. You go through momentum. You have growth. You have sales. And when you hit that 5 year, that 5 year mark is a mark. Because see, out of the top 300 existing companies in network marketing today, the top 30 have been in business for over 5 years. The top 30 now. None of them have had the growth that 7K did in their first 5 years. In fact, the top 5 do not have the growth that 7K is having now, and we haven't even started yet. And as you know, we've been profitable for 3 years. We've doubled our growth the last 2 years, and this year we doubled our growth in the middle of the year. And look at what growth we've had since then. So let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we're already in a momentum growth period. We're in this kind of period. This kind of period here, right here, that period is where you make the big bucks. Because that's the period you're establishing a big organization and earning an income at the same time. I mean, just look at Hawaii. See, you got into that momentum curve in the first few months of your business. Now, See, every business goes through what we call cycles like this as they get to this phase. They have pages of stages of growth and momentum, stabilization, growth and momentum. And then this is the smooth curve for the overall company. Same thing for your business. We've got 82 more countries to open up in. Do you know what kind of company momentum we're going to have? And for how long? I'm not going to open all these countries. They're going to open a country at a time. They're going to do it right. We've got a lot of years of growth. Generational wealth. That's what we're talking about here. You can look at this same curve for Fortune 500 companies. In fact, go in the 50-year period in the Dow Jones and the S&P. Can't find it there, huh? But see how many companies that are on the top 50 are still in the top 50 today. And then just roll that forward every 5-year increment. This is the magnitude of the opportunity you have in front of you that we all have. And whoever you invite over this next 5-year period to be in your team, because they've got all of this. And then they got stable growth. What we call stable growth is anywhere between 2 to 4% per year. But you already have a huge organization, you're still growing. See, many of the bigger, older network marketing companies are in this phase. They're in decline. Once they're open in all the countries they're going to open in, they start this phase. This is our opportunity zone. We have already got a solid base. This company's debt free. They're vertically integrating. What's that mean? For some of us that were at the Founders Getaway, the FLG, the Founders Leaders Getaway this past year in Salmon River Lodge, Jason told us, and Roger, they've already bought 2 gold mines. And that's just the beginning. So that's what you call vertical integration. They aren't going to depend on it. They told you about all that they pre-buy to make sure they got volume for the future. These people plan for the future. They do strategic planning, just like I did in that pyramid corporate world with a job. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we're at right here with actually, we're really right in this phase right now. And we're not even 5 years old yet. So we've accelerated this whole curve. We got the rest of the United States to grow until we have a goal, at least at every big city in America. We've got momentum growth left in America, but yet we're open in Canada. Then we open in Australia. Then we opened in the UK. Then we opened in New Zealand. Then we opened in Singapore. Then we opened in Ireland. And those countries are just blooming now. Some of them aren't even blooming yet. Like down under, they have such a thumb on them. In New Zealand, same thing. They were like us when we went through our COVID, and our group, exemplified by Wayne Clark becoming an executive go, the first executive go in our group, in our team, during COVID, during the beginning of it, when it was just scared everybody to death out of their shoes. But now we know it's curable. Now we know it's treatable. Now we know it's you have a 99.6% survival rate if you treat it. Hello. That's pretty cool. Well, I'm sorry about our current governments and some of the tyrannical government's decisions not to use, but many of the other countries around the world are treating it. They don't hardly have a death rate with it. But anyway, not getting into politics here. I want to stay on this business mode. This is where we're at with 7K, and use your current vault report. And I'm going to tell you, Jason did a really good job and because he's been in this industry, he's our CEO, of explaining that in the article, A Milestone Reach. Yeah, it's more than a milestone reach. So read that, make sure you understand it, watch this as many times as you need. You've got an MBA. You are looking for partners who want to change their lives financially, who want to help other people change their lives, who want to secure what they've worked hard for or what they're working hard for. So it doesn't matter what age group, this business is for everyone. And if you haven't seen the Courtney Epps video that I sent out, make sure you get it, because it's a renowned CPA that tells you got to be brain dead if you don't do a home-based business. And we have the best home-based business that exists. They get what they would have paid into this tyrannical government as taxes. And why do you want to fund them? To pay for your membership and buy your autosaver coin, a wealth building coin, every month, and you have extra money left over to buy you some gold and silver bullion with what you would have paid into taxes. And Courtney does it. I've got a short video that I put out by her that's about a little over 15 minutes that tells the story real quick. And then I got a longer interview where there's much more detail, and then you can use that as an objection handler and building your business. And I've done a training on how to incorporate that and the 7K why 7K or wealth strategies video, along with my building or how to explode your business video. So it's kind of like a 1, 2, 3 punch, and learn how to do that, explode your business. There's tons of people left that have never even heard of 7K in America and all our 50 states. So it's time we spread the good news. I hope you see what I see. I hope you understand what I just said. And I pray that you do, because you are going to change so many things, like Cheryl and Gary. I mean, look, Cheryl's got a beautiful story. And I want everybody to learn how to tell your story in less than 2 minutes. And in fact, I want you to have like a 2-minute version. And I'm going to tell Cheryl's story. Cheryl is a lifelong nurse that is in health and has been in health and health improvement and caring for people. She cares for she cares for her aged mother, and she cares for 4 of her grandchildren or daughter. And that's more than a full-time job right there. But she knows what she had worked hard for. She needed to preserve, and she was moved. She needed to get some silver. She went to Pastor Gary, and they got involved in the 7K, and they just started sharing the good news with everybody she knew, everybody she thought of, everybody she cared for. And they just used the simple techniques that we have, and leaders joined, and she started making a recurring check. That's nice extra money, something that she could do and still care for her mom and her 4 grandchildren. And it's turned, and she became a silver. She won a a 100-ounce silver bar becoming silver in less than 90 days. And she makes an income that's almost equivalent to what she used to do in the nursing world. Now, how much better can that get? And it's all done in less than a year. We have so much yet to do. And Cheryl can just say, if I can do it with all that I had to do, I know you can too. Well, hey, Cheryl. Hope you like my story of your story. Hey, look, I've got some more trainings here that I really want to do for you. I want to try and make our training short. I want to leave this one to you to use as a tool too, that you can replay with your prospects, that you can use, because we got Richard Wayne Hansen in it. We had a great introduction by my brother Gary. And I hope you enjoyed the information that I got with you. And I will put this up on our band app. And by the way, I do 2 trainings for everybody in our group. And I'm doing them on Saturday. So get my links and share them with your group and your team, and get them involved in these training sessions. And then on your private band app, because you're a private band app, and so get all your team members on the band app, because that's where we share what is specific to your group and your training and where you're at in your business. Because I have a band app with other groups in my team, and they're at different times in their phase for the business. So that's why your specific band app for your team is specific for you and your information that you need to grow. And so have a blessed day. I'm gonna stop the recording and take questions.